Alright gang, here we are working on my 2019 Can-Am Defender HD10 XMR. And what we're working on today is we have an issue with the shifter cable. As you can see, there's nothing there. So I've taken this cover off. You can see it's a bit of a bastard to get to. Upon further inspection, I've noticed that there's a tear in this boot. Now I believe you can see that there where my thumb is. I believe moisture got in there and it's got down the cable, and the cable started to rust, and then it became very difficult to shift. I did try to get some oil in the boot to help lube it up and free it up, but that only worked for a short period of time, and jumped in it tonight, and it appears that I broke the cable. So I'm gonna kind of learning with you guys, and we're gonna try to change this cable out. I've ordered a new one from Can-Am in C-Force. I'll see how it goes. I installed these interior lights that run off remote control, so that'll aid and help me see down in there and see what I got to do to get this part replaced. So first thing you want to do is take this floor pan out, and the best way I find to get those out is just a pair of side cutters. Just kind of put them in there and pop her out. So I try to get all those out so you can get to the cable that's running from front to back. Some of these plugs are a little harder than others to get out. For best case scenario is you can buy new ones. If you just want to cut them off, you can buy new ones at Can-Am or order them off of Amazon. Next thing you want to do, this cover that covers your battery, you'll see there's a spot here you can get your fingers in. You just got to give it a good tug and that'll pop right off. As you can see, there may be an animal living in my machine by the amount of wood chips and stuff. I'll have to address that a little further maybe. So here I got her all opened up for you guys. There's these clips, and all they do is you spread that apart and that clip pops out. And this cable was running down with your brake cable here, and there's another one here at the back. So I'll pop those open, and I think she's pretty much freed up from front to back. Now, the biggest pain in the ass with this project, and I haven't even started yet and I already know, is if you look down in there and follow that boot down at the very bottom, there's a nut that fastens that cable to the frame, which gives it a sturdy point to pivot on when you shift your lever. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get a wrench on that. Maybe a crow's foot or something might do it. I'll have to give her a shot here. So you have to disconnect the cable here. That's a 1/2 inch. That'll free up the cable from the top. And then I think once we figure out Oh, I see what they've done. This bolt it's got a lock nut on it. And if you just keep it pushed into the bracket, it'll allow you to unscrew it. If you allow it to push through on you, then it just freewheels. So that gets that off. And as you can see, that cable is broke right there. There she is through the boot. She snapped right off right there. So, you pull that right out of the boot, get rid of that sharp edge. Now, we're just left with getting down into the heart of the project. I might be able to get up from below on that. Underneath the dash maybe might be a better approach. There is a nut on the bottom of it which pinches it against that frame. And the other possibility is, that I'm just seeing, is, I don't know if you can see, there's these bolt heads right here. Now if there's no nut on the other side, there's only two of those, and that whole bracket can come up to where I can get at it. That might be the better case. Better idea than trying to get it appears threaded into the frame, so there's no nut on the back I gotta worry about. I think that's the road I'm gonna go. And avoid trying to get a crow's foot on that bigger nut down there. That's a 10 mil bolt, 3/4 of an inch of thread, and it took me 35 minutes to get that out of there. The good news is it's out. The bad news is there's another one that's even farther back, way back the back corner there. So instead of putting you guys through sheer and utter hell, I'll shut this recorder off and I'll let you know when I get it out. Okay, I finally get that other one out. Now we can focus on trying to get the back off. So what we have here, let's try to find a good spot for the camera. There you go. So we got this nut, similar to what's up front. Okay. Got to back that off to come off that bracket. I think there's a 1/2 inch nut holding that on the gear. There's your transmission shaft right there. So we'll work on that next. Click, 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 click. It's like playing with a small pecker. Just a little bit at a time. Hopefully that's not too annoying for you guys. That. Now I gotta take that off, which looks about a 3/4. You just want to break that loose. Shouldn't take a whole lot. That allows that to pop out of the bracket like that. Now we'll work on trying to get that pulled up into the floorboards up front. Pull through there pretty good. Only thing we want to make sure of is that we can get the new one back through the same hole. So she's a little congested down in here. I don't think that big nut is gonna fit through there without damaging anything else anyways. Let's see what we can do there. Alright guys, got the cable out. There she is laying on the floor. You would think to get from there to there would be somewhat simple, but it couldn't be more tight in there. Getting underneath, I'm not sure if that's coolant. I'm not a mechanic. I went to school for a living and became an electrician. But that appears to be going up. Oh, it's your breather. So that's an airline, but you just can't get on that and haul her out because you'll tear that. So you got to be somewhat delicate. She's pretty tight little area going through there. So I did get her out. She's laying on the floor. Now, the next objective is to see how I'm going to get it down out of there. If I thought the last one was tight, this looks like a fucking nightmare. Anyways, I'll see what I come across. So, this is like a two-man operation. You gotta feed the cable from below. So here we are. Let's see if I can get this camera somewhat accurate. Well, there's that bracket that was screwed onto the frame. There's similar to what we're looking at the back of the transmission, right there. So it's just a retention nut that holds that cable to the frame, which allows the cable to pull back and forth inside that sleeve. So I'll get that 3/4 or I believe it's a 19 mil. We'll try to free that up. Make sure you know which way you're turning it because they are. That's gonna need 2 wrenches. So I'll be right back once I find my 3/4 wrench. There you go. There's that off. Now, you gotta try to get that down through there. This doesn't look like a hell of a lot of fun, to be honest. Not a very big hole down in there. But it must fit through. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rope on this so when I pull it down through I can tie it onto the next one to pull the next one down through. Like that should work. I'm going to do here is I'm going to loop that around. I'm going to take my side cutters, which are down here, string off some rope or string. That should be all I need. I'm just going to pull that back through on itself so that cinches up. And then, see the little wee hole we're going down through there. You can follow that cable down, it's going through a little boot there. We got to get this nut compilation through there. So it'll be a two-man project here, two-hand project here. I'll try to set the camera up to see if we can capture it for you guys. Try to give you a little bit of light here so you can see. Okay, rope's on. Just gonna slowly push that down through there. Hopefully it goes through that boot okay, which it is already hung up a bit. I'm gonna have to get something long to try to force it through there. Just give me a sec. So I got a couple extension bars here from the ratchet. Try to force that down through that hole. Trouble is, I don't know what's on the other side of that boot. It's through now. It's going. There she goes. There goes my rope. So I've got a rope down through it, and she's catching down below somewhere. Sorry about the lighting here, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of moving a flashlight around as I go here. So kind of an awkward bitch of a place to get into. Excuse my language. Alright. Well, I don't know how the hell that is ever going to get through there. That is tight in there. Tight, tight, tight. So, I wonder how I get that boot. Okay, kids, here's what I'm into. Up in here, you could almost say it's almost like a firewall. There's a tie wrap right here. This is my cable. So I gotta get that tie wrap cut. It's not a big deal. All the purpose of that is just try to stop the majority of the dirt shit when you're really giving her. Try to keep the dirt out of your from entering the front of your quad. This is all pretty low, so it's far from a good seal. It's just hey, we tried. I know it doesn't work, but hey, we tried. Okay. Tie wrap's cut. Let me get my get that tie wrap off there. It's just a royal prick of a spot to get at. Now, I talked earlier about all that oil I put in the cable to try to get her to loosen up a little bit. That oil is since dripped on me, dripped on my tools, dripped on everything. Once again, this is just a little wee compartment to get these big nuts through. I know we're trying, you know, usually have to get our nuts into things, but this is one of them. So, it's just a dark sucker to get at. Try to move the hoses out of the way, because you don't want, last thing you want is to fucking damage one of those hoses. So, I'm gonna put you guys down, see how I do to get this through here. Worst case, I just cut the cable to the other side, pull her through, but then I gotta worry about getting the new one through. So let me, I'll keep you guys informed after a couple more sips of my Pabst Blue Ribbon. Here's something else. Picked up one of these for the kids. That's a 2019 Polaris Ranger 150. It is quite a little weapon. It's expensive. Out the door, it was about $6,500. Sorry about getting serenaded by Carol and Don Johnson, but it's out of my control. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet little gig. It's got geofence. It's you can control everything. It's Bluetooth enabled, so you can control everything from your cell phone. It is quite the little weapon. The kids love it. It's got the LCD display. I believe I got my foot on the brake to start her up. Yep. So she's a nice running little rig. Two-wheel drive. She's straight axle, so both rear tires spin at the same time. Not independent suspension in the back or anything. It's got cup holders. The thing about this thing, fuel. This thing holds about $4 worth of gas. Now I'm in Ontario, Canada, so gas is about 97 cents a liter. So $4, and that thing will run for a week on $4. That's one of the downfalls to it, is it should have a bigger tank. It's got the flag on her in case you really get into shit, and that way we can see that orange flag from a long ways away. But anyways, I'm getting away from it. If you want to see this thing in action, there's a video I put on, so like and subscribe this, and go over and see the video I put of the kids ripping on this little rig. They love it. Seat belts, 2-passenger. It's got the give her gas and hold the frig on, boys, handle, and adjustable seats, adjustable steering wheel. Lots of options too. You can get some bumpers for it. I didn't choose to. We did have an accident. The wee guy, he got stuck, so I got on him with the Defender with the winch from behind, started winching him back, and he put her to the boards, and then when he was not stuck anymore, he kept her to the boards and backed right into the front of my machine. Didn't even put a scratch on the Defender, but yeah, we got a few cosmetic problems here, which I'm not going to repair right away because it could be involved in another fender bender. So anyways, back to the Defender here. I do have something, had it parked over at the farm, so I do have something that appears to be living or wanting to live in it. So I'm gonna make sure before I close everything up, that I take the shop back and give her a good cleaning, and maybe not keep her at the farm anymore. So what I did was I cut that tie wrap and I got that cable out. So all we got to do now is repeat that purpose and put the new one in, and should be good to go. Now, depending on, there's that ball of Wisers there, things get a little cattywampus on the reinstall. Now the big thing here, it's just because we're putting a new cable on, is this is fully adjustable. You back this nut off, this bolt, and there's a spline on your transmission arm, and you got to make sure that, depending on the cable I put in, make sure that it's shifting properly. If it isn't, you got to make the adjustment here. So we'll pay special attention to that if I ever do get this new cable in. All right, I'm going to compare these cables to each other. Here's the new one. I'm going to compare them to each other. If they're both the same length and appear to be identical, I'm going to go about installing this one in. Alrighty, I'll let you guys go. So here's why you check things. Here's the new cable. Sorry, it's upside down. Here's the existing cable. Those part numbers are not the same. I'm assuming those are part numbers. You got a 707001721 is the new one, compared to a 707001468 is the existing one I took off. Now, if they were somewhat similar, I wouldn't have a problem, but the new one is about 1.5 feet longer, which concerns me because there's not a lot of areas where you can take up slack on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut her down for tonight, and I'm going to call Can-Am in the morning. They should be open Saturday, and see what they say. Not too happy if that's not the right cable. Okay, gang, back here again. I got to the bottom of the shifter cable issue I was having. Turns out they sent me the wrong one. They sent me one for a Defender Max, which is the 4-seater, which explains why it was 1.5 feet, 2 feet longer than the one I had. So comparing the cables, they are like for like. Lengths are the same. The one thing is, for fellow Defender drivers, if you ever have to do this, the part number has changed. The replacement part number has changed. It is now, I don't know if you can see that, 707002227 is the replacement part. The original part ended in 1468 or something like that. So that's one thing they told me. So I'm going to go about putting this in. If you have a garage that's insulated but you don't have heat to it, let me say this. I picked up this heater, screws right on to a propane tank, and when I built the house I put ceiling fans in. Not just a little bit of air movement is perfect. Circulates the heat around, and it doesn't take long at all to heat the shop up. Okay, gang, I got her all wrapped up and put back together. I'll tell you, it wasn't much fun getting that cable up in behind here and up through that hole up there. Was not fun at all. That was the hardest part. Just a little bit of fine adjustment still required here. Other than that, I took her for a rep. I'll be honest, I don't know if that shifter cable was ever right from the day I bought it, because man, it shifts like a dream. It's almost so easy to shift like it's broken. But anyways, the main thing, we got her fixed up. Took her for a good rep. Everything seems to be working good. So like and subscribe to the channel, and wait for the next one. My next video is going to be a review on the Can-Am Defender, the likes and dislikes. So make sure you subscribe and you'll get a notification of my next video. Thank you.